Okay, let me share my screen. Any questions, any doubts, any challenges? Anyone tried creating Windows login, SQL login? Okay, no issues. Let me restart this VM. Okay, it is not coming. Right, okay. So in the last class, we discussed about the different types of authentications, okay, and different types of logins we discussed. What is a Windows login, what is a SQL login, okay, and how to create Windows login. What are the prerequisites? Can anyone tell me what are the prerequisites for Windows login, guys?
Windows credential.
Oh, okay. Windows credentials means
OS level, at OS level.
means
Windows user.
Windows user. Okay. So Windows credentials are different. Windows credentials are different. Windows user account is different. See, if I want to create a login for Vibo, as discussed in the last class, I don't want Vibo's password. Windows credentials means Vibo username and Vibo password. I don't want Vibo password, right? I don't want to use his password simply whether Vibo is created or not. Means Windows user is there or not. Okay. So Windows user and Windows credentials both are different, right? Windows user should be there. So I just shown you how to create a Windows login, how to create a SQL login, how to connect using Windows authentication, how to connect using SQL authentication, and in case while connecting through SQL logins, what kind of errors we will get. Can anyone tell me any login error number, login related error number?
18456.
Right. So 18456 is the login related login failure. Okay, login failure error 18456. So this error you will get either if you gave wrong username, wrong password, or if the SQL server is configured with Windows authentication. Right. So on all these scenarios, if the login does not exist, in all these four scenarios, usually you will get this 18456 error. Okay. Right. So we have also discussed how to give access on a table. Right. We have also discussed how to give access on a table. And when you gave access on a table, how user will be created also we discussed. And we have also discussed, we just started discussing server roles. Okay. Different types of server roles. Can anyone tell me just to try guys, what is the stored procedure we'll use? Okay. To find out the permissions of a server role. Just try it. Whatever you remember, just try it. What
What is the
stored
question?
procedure? What is, see, every time I'm like hearing this one, if I ask the question, what is the question?
Oh,
So, okay, that's okay. I can explain again. Means every time, that's okay. So just listen carefully, okay? What is the stored procedure that we are going to use to find out the permissions of a server role? Got the question, guys, right? We used one stored procedure or query, whatever it might be. We used one query in the morning. Just try it. I'm not asking you. It doesn't mean you have to remember it. Okay, if you write down somewhere else, you can use it. but we just used one stored procedure or one query to find out the permissions of a server role. So anyone remember that query?
SP
SP
underscore
underscore
SRV role
sp underscore srv
permission.
role permission. Okay,
SRV role
so
permission in the square brackets that
login
server
name.
role. No,
Sorry,
it's
server
server
role.
role.
Yes, okay. So you have to use sp srv role members. Sp srv role members are permission. Okay, so
Permissions.
that is different. Okay, sp underscore srv role permission. Okay, and the role name, whatever role you want to find out the permissions, you have to give that role name, right? And anyone remember that query? Okay, so which will help us to find out the users in a group login. I want to see all the users in a group login. What is the query we'll use? That's okay, that's fine. Okay, so the query is xp underscore login info. Okay, that group login name comma members, xp underscore login info. That is very important, guys. Sometimes they will see, if any new guy comes to us and if he asks the permission, say I need permissions on this database. So what is the first thing you have to check? Can anyone tell me what is the first thing we have to check, guys? Some new person came into the team, okay, and he is asking permissions. Hey, I need permissions on this database. So what you have to ask him?
Whether he is a Windows authentication person or SQL.
Okay, Windows or SQL. Okay, that's fine. That's a valid question, no problem. And after that, what we
We
have
need
to
to get
verify?
some approvals from his manager.
Approvals. Okay, very good. That is also valid thing. And after that,
After that, we will see
check to see is the username present in the login.
very good. Whether login is present inside the SQL server or not, we'll check in the SQL server logins list. If login is not present, what we are going to do?
We will
we
create
need
it.
to create new login.
We'll directly create new login.
No,
Then what we'll do? Just try it. You know the
taking
answer.
permission.
You all know the answer. Okay, that's okay. We'll take the approvals, permissions, and all. That's okay. And we'll directly create the new login, or we'll do anything. Just this point we haven't discussed, but you can apply your common sense. Just apply your common sense that we have discussed in the last class.
We have permission to create it.
We will have permissions. As a DBA, we should have permissions.
Yeah, we have to know which group he belongs to.
Very good.
That's your-
Super. Okay, that is a very important point. You have to ask him which group he belongs to. Okay, as discussed, usually in the organization, we don't create individual logins. Again, it depends upon the company to company, project to project. 90% companies, they won't entertain creating individual logins for each person, as discussed. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to ask him which team you belongs to. Okay, he will tell one team name, his team name and all. Then what is the next step? You have to check. You have to go to SQL server. You have to run xp underscore login info, that group name comma members. Check whether this guy is present inside that group or not. As he is a new member, he might not be present inside the group. So what you are going to do from your end?
We'll request to
Add him to the
contact
group.
the Windows administrator to add that user
Right.
to the group.
Very good. That's it. Here we don't do anything, guys. That's not our responsibility also. We'll simply ask the user. Imagine Ankoji is the user. Ankoji joined in the development team and he is looking for permissions. Ankoji will raise a request, hey, so and so database, I need the permissions. We'll see whether we'll ask the Ankoji, hey Ankoji, do you know your team name, or do you know which team he belongs to? We'll ask him. If he says, okay, let me get back to you with the details and all, he will ask his new team, his colleagues and all, or his team lead, and he will get back to the team name. So we'll check whether the group login is present for that team or not. If it is present, we'll check whether this Ankoji is part of that group or not. Okay, if Ankoji is not part of the group, then we'll tell to Ankoji, hey Ankoji, So your group is already there in this particular SQL server. Okay. Do one thing, go to the Windows team, raise a request, ask them to add in this specific group. Okay. Once Windows team added that Ankosi to the specific group, then what we have to do from our side?
We need to give permission.
What permissions you will give?
Server
You
role.
have
Which
to
server
ensure
role?
that group.
Which server
Which
role
he
you
is
will
asked.
give? Why he will ask?
You have to
And
ensure
see,
that
Will be already doing.
don't think in that way. I just want to check, okay, so that's okay. See, I just want to check how good you are understanding basic things and all. Okay, so usually here we don't do anything, guys. Once he becomes imagine once he becomes a member of DB creator, if he is asking, hey, please give me permissions to create the database. If Ankosi is a member of DB creator, do we need to give permissions to Ankosi again?
No need.
No need. Why?
Already
Because he's already member
that
of
person.
DB creator role. So he can create the new database in the same way. Already that group will have permissions, right? Agree? Already that
Yes, sir.
group will have permissions, some set of permissions that group might have sysadmin permissions or they might have some other different permissions. Once Ankosi is added to that group by Windows team, nothing has to done from our side, DBA side. We'll simply ask Ankosi, please validate the access now. Please check the access now whether you are able to access the databases or not. That's it. We'll verify it. We'll confirm it and then we'll close the ticket. Okay, here we don't do even a single thing also. We don't do a single activity also. Simply we'll ask the new user, hey, please go to the Windows team, ask them, tell them to add into this particular group. Once that Windows team added any new person to that group, automatically all the permissions, okay, Ankosi will get all the permissions. Nothing we have to do from our side, DBA side. We have to verify, just cross verify whether he is able to access or not. Once he confirmed, yes, I am able to access the databases now, then you can close the ticket. Is it clear, guys? Why this query is important? XP login info. Everyone. So we have to make sure whether this guy or if anyone comes to us, I need permissions and all. We have to check different group logins in which login he is present. Okay, then you can update him. Hey, you are not present in this particular login. Do one thing, just go to the Windows team and ask them to add in this group so that they will add you. Once they have added, you will get the permissions automatically. Is it clear, everyone? Any issues, any doubts here? Is it clear, guys?
If he, the user has a standard user in Windows, but is a DBA, he can access all the databases.
See, first thing is as a DBA, he can access the whole server, not the databases itself. The whole server he
Okay,
can access. Okay, so DBA access won't be controlled by the Windows team. Windows team is limited to create a login for you. Okay, or you
okay,
need to be added to a specific group. They are limited to either your account should be created in the Active Directory. We don't have access to Active Directory to create our own accounts. The Windows team will do only two things. One is they will create an account for you in the Active Directory. They will add you to the respective groups. Okay, so DBA only during these activities will depends on Windows team. Once we are sysadmins, once we are DBA, once we have complete access, we don't depend on Windows team and all. Okay, we will have our own access.
okay. It is a administrator or standard user, anything.
What is the
In,
standard user? First of all, tell me. I don't know what is the standard user. What is the meaning of standard user?
he don't have all the permissions in Windows server.
Windows server, he don't have permissions. That is standard user. Huh?
Yes.
Okay. So see, one thing here is you have to get an idea that once when we will become a DBS, first of all, if they are added into the DBA group, then only will become DBS, right?
Yes.
Once they have added into a DBA group, then we already became a DBS and we already got the permissions,
Okay.
right? So
Okay.
until if you are not added, your responsibility is to make sure that they are adding you into that group by raising a request. You can request them, hey, please add me to that group. We have a proper approvals and all. You can send your manager approval, so that once they checked, once they validated the approvals of managers, that particular team managers, then okay, chalo, this guy I'm going to add into that particular respective SQL DBA group. Once you are added into the SQL DBA group, what are the permissions are there for SQL DBA group? You will get all the permissions, all the access on the whole server and SQL server as well.
Okay, clear.
Okay. Right.
Sir,
Any other
this
questions?
essay, sir, this
Yes.
essay permission, who will give, sir?
Which SA permission? Sysadmin you are saying?
Sysadmin, sir.
Who will give? Who can give? Tell me first of all. Who can give?
Sir. Senior
Windows
DBA.
team, senior DBA. Not like that. See, permissions wise, there is no senior. There is no junior DBA. Okay, it don't work like that, guys. Okay, everyone. If you are in the shift, you have to handle the work. Okay, initially for fresher 0 to 1 year experience, they might not ask you to give the permissions, but after 1 year experience, like once you had more than 1 year experience, but in some companies that too means very big project, very big companies and all. But generally if it is a normal company, a mid-level company, so if you have a good knowledge, you have to give access to others also. And the condition is you should have access first. You should be a member of sysadmin group. If you're a member of sysadmin group, definitely you can give access to others. It's not like senior DBS managers, team leads will give the permissions to others and all. No, any DBA can give permissions to anyone, but you should have permissions first. Okay, if you are a sysadmin, you can give sysadmin to others, but the condition is they should have proper
If,
approvals.
if I have permission, then only I can do anything.
Correct.
I can give to anyone.
Right. If you are a sysadmin, you can give it to others, but main thing you have to check is you have to make sure whether they have proper approvals for adding into the sysadmin role or not.
Sir, and
Okay.
another one thing you have said that just we need to give permission. After that, he should validate whether these credentials are working or not. When he replay, then only we have to close the ticket.
Correct. Once he confirms, then you can close the ticket. Say you can
Before
update
that,
the
we
ticket.
should.
You cannot close it. Okay. He has to confirm he is able to access or not. Other tickets, if customer asks you to take the backup, you can take the backup and no need to confirm with the customer. Why? Because you already took the backup. Right? That's fine. You can close the ticket. But access related, you have to confirm with him whether he is able to connect or not. Okay, so if he's not replying, you are done with your duty and all whatever activities are there from DBA side. You just did all the things, nothing pending from your side. You just sent an email to him, hey, I gave you the access, please check and let me know. But the user is not responding. After 2-3 days, if he is not responding, you can close the ticket. No need to wait for him. But it's our responsibility at least to give some time, okay, to confirm the users and all, like whether they are able to access the SQL server or not. You have to wait for some time. If they confirmed, you can close the ticket immediately. If they don't confirm anything, you can take time 2-3 days, then you can close the ticket.
Sir,
Right?
another one doubt is while we are creating the logins, you have entered the names, no, sir, morning. For that,
Yes.
is there is any rule we should not use the
No.
spaces?
If there is any rules, I'll tell you. If there is any rule, I'll tell you. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Any other questions? Any questions, guys? One minute, guys. Okay. Just 1 minute. Right. Okay. Fine, guys. Okay. So In the last class we discussed, okay, we just started discussing the roles. Bulk admin we discussed, DB creator discussed, disk admin we discussed. So let's discuss about the process admin. Okay, so what is this process admin? What kind of permissions this process admin will have? Okay, so what is a process? First of all, what is the process? How to check what and all processes that are running in SQL Server. Okay, so we'll discuss all these things, guys. So what is the query? We have sp underscore srv a role permission, right? Permission, and the server role is process admin. Okay, you can drag and drop. Right, you can see there are two permissions, guys. Of course, you know this permission. Every role will have this by default permission that if you are a member of process admin, you can add another login into the process admin. How to add another login into the process admin role? Can anyone tell me? How to add another login into the process admin role? For example, Basha is a process admin. How Basha can add Samir into the process admin role?
Sir, if if Samir login is available in the list of server roles, then just double click, then go to
Yes,
server roles,
correct.
like
Okay,
that.
yeah, correct. Okay, so you can do like that. That is one way. And another way is, okay, you cannot see Samir login, right? Until and unless if you are not a sysadmin, if you are a simple process admin, okay, you cannot see Samir login, right? You got my point?
Yes, sir.
In the last class we discussed that Vaibhav can't see other logins. Vaibhav wants to give you, Vaibhav wants to add you into the process admin role. Vaibhav is a process admin, he wants to add you into the process admin role. Now how Vaibhav can add you into the process admin role? He can't see your login, right? Basha login he can't see. How he can do that? Any way? Do we have any way?
Sir, yes, sir.
No, no, no. He has to use his account only. Why he will use SA account? You cannot give to SA, right? SA is a sysadmin already. SA will have a lot of access. I mean, like full access on the server. I'm just Vaibhav is there. Vaibhav is one login. Vaibhav wants to add you into the process admin role. How Vaibhav can add you into the process admin role? He cannot see. You said simply he has to click on that double click on the Basha login and go to server roles, and he can select that particular server role process admin and he can click OK, so that Basha will be added to the process admin role. But I cannot. Vaibhav cannot see Basha, right? Then in that case, how Vaibhav can give you access or Vaibhav can add you into the process admin role?
Sir, if he get SC approvals, then he can see, sir.
No, Basha. SC approvals means that is different. I am just asking, okay, if Vaibhav is a sysadmin, yes, he can see all the logins, agreed. But this is my requirement. See,
That means he
for,
doesn't have the permission.
correct. See, for giving access to process admin, I cannot make Vaibhav as sysadmin, right?
Yes,
Agree?
Sir,
yes, sir.
we can use query for that.
Very good. Super, super. We can use query for that. We can use query for that. So that for query, you see, we can achieve anything in the SQL server. We can achieve in two ways. One is GUI way. Second one is query way. GUI means a Basha login should be there. Then only you can double click on the Basha. But there is a query also. What GUI will do? It will prepare a query. Right? Simply, if you run that query without having that Basha login also, you can give access using the query. Okay, while adding I'll show you what query you have to run. Okay, that's okay, that's fine. So what is a process admin? First of all, what is a process? Process means whatever you are doing in the SQL server will allocate a process for you. It's a kind of a thread. Just I'm saying it's a kind of a thread, just for understanding. It's a kind of thread. You are executing one query, guys. Select star from employee. That is one query, means you are doing one work. Okay, so if any user fires any query, then SQL Server will start one process. Your work will be done in that particular process. How many users are connected to the SQL Server? That many processes will be there. Okay, if he is running the query, each query will run in one process, guys. In one process, you can run one query or multiple queries, but minimum one process should be there. Each query will be executed in one process. Okay, the process or session, you can call it as, just for understanding purpose. There is a minute difference between process and session, but just for understanding purpose, I'm saying. Okay, you can see right here 54. What is this, guys? What is this 54? If I open one more query window, you will get a different number. What is that? 55. If I open one more query window, you'll get 56. What is that? 54, 55, 56?
Query or session?
Very good. Okay, it's a process ID. Technically, we'll call it as a process ID or session ID. Okay, so under 54, imagine if Vaibhav opened a session to this SQL server. This is one SQL server. To this SQL server, lot of logins can connect, right? As discussed, 32,767 logins can connect, right? So if everyone opens one session will be opened, one process will be opened on behalf of their name, guys. Here if you see Vaibhav in the brackets, you can see Vaibhav opened this 57 session. Like that, if Basha connected and if you opened a new query, a session will be there on Basha's name, a session will be there on Samir's name, a session will be there on Pratyusha, on Priyanka, on Vasavi, on Giri, okay, on Rajesh. So if you are connecting to the SQL server, if you open a session, one session will be there on your name. Beside that session, you can see a session ID. Okay, if you want to see all the sessions in the SQL server that are running, there is a query, guys. What is that query? sp underscore who2. Okay, sp underscore who2. There is an issue with my internet, so I'm unable to connect to the server remotely, guys. Right? So here you can write sp underscore who2. Anywhere you can write sp underscore who2, no issue. But you should have permissions. Okay. So if you see here, you can see all the sessions, guys. If you see here, see, these are the session IDs. Okay. If you see here, you have 62 sessions that are running in SQL Server currently. Currently 62 sessions are running. And if you see here, who is running the session? See here, on behalf of Vaibhav, 5 sessions are running. See here the login name. And what is the session state? Whether it is executing or just executed or sleeping or runnable or suspended or background, like that you can see different status in this status column, guys. Different statuses in this particular status column. And who is running the queries on this session? Okay, Vaibhav is running. What is the server name? Host name means server name. The server name you can see. On what database he is running? You can see the database names. What query he is running? As of now, Vaibhav haven't started any queries. Just opened a session, waiting for command. And that means he just opened a session. How much CPU it is taking? We can see. How much disk IO? Disk IO means read write. When he just last executed anything, and through which program he is connected, through which program name means your application name, means in our case we are using management studio to connect to the SQL server, right? So through management studio query window he connected. If we connected from different application, we can connect to the SQL server using different applications, right? Then you can see the application name. Okay, so this is how it will work, guys. This is how it will work. So you can see all the sessions that are there in the SQL server using sp underscore who2. Okay, this is very important query. We'll regularly use this. Yes, any questions? Okay.
Sir, that
So,
means if you,
yes, please.
sir, that means if anything goes wrong, then we can easily trace that what happened.
Correct. If anyone wants to check, see, I want to check who are the users connected to my SQL server and what they are doing, what kind of queries they are executing. If you want to track it, you can track using SP2. Okay.
Yes.
Right. So here SP2 will help you to find all the processes. But if you run the same query in the Vaibhav session, right? Control C. let me open Vibo session. You can see here bracket Vibo session. If I run it and see the output, what output you can see?
Only his
Correct. Vibo can see only his session 57. You can see here 57 session. Why? Why means Vibo doesn't have proper permissions to see other sessions. Who can see the sessions, other sessions? Can anyone tell me?
Admin.
Admin, very
sysadmin.
good. Sysadmin can see. Okay, very good. Apart from sysadmin, who else can see?
SCA.
Of course, SCA means sysadmin.
Sir,
A member of process admin can see. Okay, a member of process admin can see other sessions. Okay, add member to process. Process means that only, right? And kill means what? Something you found. Okay, Vaibhav is running a long query which is taking it's taking lot of time to execute. Yeah, now Vaibhav is asking us, hey, can you please kill my query? It is taking lot of time to execute, which will impact the performance of the SQL server. Or we found Vaibhav query is impacting the performance of the SQL server. Then there is a situation comes that we have to kill others sessions. To kill others sessions, we'll use kill command. Kill. Which session you want to kill? I want to kill 57. Kill 57 will kill the Vaibhav session. But killing the sessions means you are killing others' work. Vaibhav is doing some important work. You simply killed his session. His work will be gone. You might complain without having his approvals. You cannot kill his session. See, you are doing an important activity. Imagine someone kill your session. What is your status? What is your experience? You'll get a bad experience, right? Definitely your work will be gone. So you will be if it is one time, if it is by mistake, that's okay. Okay, but if regularly someone is killing your sessions during the work, definitely you will escalate the issue, right, to the manager and all. This guy is killing my sessions and all. So before killing, you have to take who is running the session. You have to find out using SP Who2. You have to ask him, hey, your session is creating lot of noise in the SQL server or disturbances or creating some performance issues. Is that okay if we kill the session? See, killing the session is not a solution again. I'm just giving for example. I'm saying we will deal in a separate way, but at this moment we cannot understand all those things. So I'm saying, hey, your query is creating some disturbance. Can we kill your session? You can ask them. If Vibo says yes, no problem, you can kill the session, then you can kill it. But without permissions, you cannot kill the sessions. And this is very important.
sir, for this we no need to raise any ticket. No, sir.
No need to raise any ticket. Simply you can kill it. Sometimes developers itself, they will raise the tickets. Can you please this session IDs and all? You can take the ticket and you can kill it. If the developers raise the ticket, no need to take the approvals. You can kill it directly, no issues. They are asking, hey, please kill the sessions. You can kill it. If you want to kill from your side without having any notice, that's not good option. Tell them that you are going to kill his session. Okay, so that once he agreed, okay, you can kill it, then you can kill the sessions. Okay, right? Chalo. So this is one thing we have to discuss. Process admin is very important. The meeting is going to close now. Please use the same link to join, guys.
I have a question.
We'll discuss. I'll
Sure.
connect again. Okay.